It's cold out there, huh? Oh, easy. Jeez, you're nearly ungrowing me there. Come on. All right, stand it up over here for now, huh?
That's an ugly little tree, Arch. Maybe you could put the bad side to the wall.
Well, that's a thought. Which is the bad side?
Well, I think you got a choice. Because there ain't no good side.
Well, that's the last time I pick up a tree that fell off a truck. Yeah, we're home, man.
Oh, our Christmas tree!
Oh, now, don't look like that. Eat it, eat it. Never frown at a gift from nature.
I was hoping that we could have a little bigger tree.
Oh, hoping. You're always hoping. I told you 30 years ago to give up hoping. Ain't you got no feelings for me? Look at these two hands here, covered with needles and saps. You want a beer?
Yeah, Arch.
Yeah.
Well, it should be fatter for Joey, with more branches.
You need branches for the kid ain't gonna climb it.
It looks dead.
Well, it looks dead because it is dead, Edith. All Christmas trees is dead. Well, it was once a living tree there, beautiful tree. It's a tree that May and summers wear, huh?
Nest of robins in her hair.
Yeah. Palms are made by fools like me. What only God can make a tree. Yes, so show a little respect for the damn thing.
With Gloria and Mike and Joey all gonna be here for Christmas, we ought to have a better looking tree.
Oh, come.
I think Edith's right.
Well, I think you ought to shut up.
I think I ought to go home.
No, why?
Blanche is there all alone. Well, she ain't exactly alone. The carpenter's there.
You told me the carpenter's working in the living room.
Yeah, but he's got bedroom eyes. Oh. I'll see you Christmas.
Yeah, okay, Barney. Yeah. Drop in whenever you want to.
And we don't want you to bring no presents or nothing.
Thanks, Edith.
Leave him alone, will you, Edith? Hey, Barney, you do what you want.
I'd rather do what Edith wants. Bye, Edith.
Bye, Barney.
You know, Barney's a common sort of a guy. You know that? Walking around with a beer can in his hand.
Yes!
Jeez! Oh, Edith, right on the...
Just tomorrow they're all gonna be here. Oh, we're gonna hear all about the happenings in California.
I don't want to hear nothing about California. That's the land of disasters they went to out there. But earthquakes, fires, floods, movies.
Come on out in the kitchen.
Oh, jeez.
Come on, I want to show you a surprise I'm making for little Joey.
Well, if Joey's anything like his father, the surprise better be a hero sandwich.
Oh, Stephen and me is making animal cookies.
Well, put a lot of sugar in them.
I'm making animals and people from Joey's favorite nursery rhymes. See, there's the cow and the moon that the cow jumped over. You're eating the cow.
About a minute, I'm going to eat the moon he jumped over.
And there's the cats and the fiddles. And And I'm making Jack and Jill, you know, that went up the hill. And I'm making them all out of gingerbread so they look like they got beautiful California suntans. Ain't that cute?
No, Edith. You know, I really don't think you ought to be making cookies like this nowadays.
Why not?
Well, it makes you feel like you're eating colored people. Oh, geez, look at the size of this turkey you bought here. My God, it's as big as a police dog.
Oh. We got a great big hungry crowd coming.
Oh, yeah, I know. The meathead.
Archie, Christmas is here again.
Then may the Lord get us through it.
And that means peace and goodwill.
Hold it. Why do you always think you gotta tell me that, huh? Listen, I got a lot of peace and goodwill in my heart. It's just laying there, waiting for other people to bring it out of me. Oh, God, I'd like to hit that phone with an axe.
Maybe it's somebody you like.
Jeez. Everybody I like stays the hell away from me.
Hello? Gloria! Archie! Gloria's calling from California.
What? The kids are calling from California?
Call Steffi so she can
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to us. Calling Steffi down.
Hey, kiddo, come on down here so you can talk to somebody on the phone.
Good. How's the weather? Oh, good.
Yeah, let me talk,
You sound
Edith.
just like you're
Let
in
me
the
t-
next room.
let me talk.
She sounds just like she's in the next room.
Oh, people always say that same dumb thing.
Good. Really?
I want to talk. Would you give me the phone? Give me the
Wait a
phone.
minute.
Give me the phone.
Your father wants to speak to you. Here he is.
Hi, little girl. This is your father. How are you? Edith, give me, your mother, she's all over me here. Yeah. Huh? Oh, that's nice, yeah. You know, you sound just like you're in the next room there. Yeah. Hey, let me ask you, how's Joey? He's standing by the phone. Put him on, I put him on. He's standing right by the phone there. They're gonna put him on. Give me a break. Hello? Hello, Joe?
Yeah, hi, Joey.
Don't do that. Hello, Joe. Can you guess who you're talking here? Huh? Well, wait a minute. I'll give you a hint. Did you get it? He guessed it was his grandpa here. And he Bronx cheered me right back again. He's a real bunker there. Hey, listen, Joe.
Come here.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Joe, hang on. I want you to talk to a little step cousin of yours twice removed or something. Yeah. But I gotta be nice to her. She's only a girl, you know? Yeah, hang on there. All right, here, Rosemary, here. Go ahead and say something there, but be quick because it's long distance.
What'll I say?
Well, say hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Say your name.
I'm Stephanie.
Say how old you are.
I'm 9 years old.
Yeah. Say what class you're in.
I'm in 4A.
Say, I love you, Joey.
I love you, Joey.
Yeah. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Sit there.
Oh, I'm so glad you're still there. No, Steffi thought we was through. Oh, stop, give me air. Well, what time will you be?
Check the time because we're 3 hours earlier here in New York for some reason.
Did you hear that? Good. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on.
Oh.
Come on, let me talk, will you? Oh, God. Are we starting with the ahas? We're going to be an hour here. The things with the other Let me talk to my daughter.
Oh. What happened?
What happened?
Oh, no.
Another mudslide?
That's a terrible thing to happen just at this time.
They didn't lose their condominium, did they?
You mean he ain't, well... Oh, yeah, I understand. We love you. Yeah, I'll tell him. I'm sorry, too. Sure, that's all right. Go right ahead. We'll talk soon. Bye.
What's the matter?
They ain't coming. Mike's back went out again.
From an earthquake?
No. She couldn't talk long. Her and Joey was going out the door.
So what's gonna be?
Oh, I guess this little family ain't gonna be together for Christmas.
Well, this whole thing is the fault of the meathead.
Oh, no, he couldn't help it if his back went out.
Ah, his back. It wasn't his back, it was something else. Jeez.
What?
Hollywood. That's right. I think that he has went Hollywood.
But they live in Santa Barbara.
Same thing. Santa Barbara's only a hoity-toity suburb of Hollywood. Oh, what a place, Hollywood. Oh, that salacious life they live out there. All them cocktail parties, you know, where you rub up against the likes of fair as Major Fawcett's. Them alone could drive a guy like the meathead out of his mind. Oh, not to mention the nude swimming, huh? Ain't it, huh? The nude swimming. Yes. And the hot, bubbling kajuzies. And everybody's hands under the water. Huh? Oh, let me tell you, Edith. That Hollywood is the kingdom of the kinky. I seen by the paper, they passed a law out there. You can't teach school unless you're a registered fag. Oh, so? Stands to reason. A guy out there having all that fun, he'd want to come back to New York, spend Christmas with an ordinary businessman like me, and a plain, wore-out housewife like you. You hear me? You ain't talking, Edith. That ain't like you.
I'm thinking.
That ain't like you neither.
I want to think before I talk.
Well, Edith, an old dog shouldn't try to learn new tricks. Just talk. You know, let your thoughts trail behind you like always.
I'm thinking that since they didn't come here, we should go out there.
Well, let me tell you something. I already thought about it. And you know what I think? I think that we should quit thinking about it.
Oh, no. Come on, Archie. I got it all figured out.
I know. Don't you think I heard you before, calling up Kennedy Airport and scratching down all that information?
Now listen to me.
No, don't tell me about it.
We could have gone on the super safe.
She tells me anyway.
If we booked 30 days in advance and stayed away for 7 days. It's too late for that now. So, on Monday through Thursday, the fare is the lowest. It's $270, $225 for a child. That's round trip. But since we gotta go on Saturday, the rates for Friday through Sunday is $315, $225 for a child. That's still round trip. And we get free meals, low cholesterol. That's for you. Low sodium. That's for you. Kosher. Oh, that ain't for you. All major credit cards accepted. Be at airport 1 hour before. Archie, are you asleep?
I heard everyone.
What did I say?
Archie, are you asleep?
Listen, you better stay awake, because I got something important to tell ya. There's a noon flight on Saturday, December 23rd, leaving Kennedy Airport, New York to Los Angeles, and I got us reservations. We're booked.
Stop. Now, don't be ridiculous, Edith. We ain't going nowhere. If we're going somewhere, let's get moving. What the hell did she pack in here? We're only going on a little trip. You'd think it was the Jews fleeing from Egypt. Did you see her put lead in here?
No, only 3 boxes of cookies.
Lead. I'm surprised that the plane gets off the ground. Edith Barney will be here any minute.
She right there.
I don't want to go.
Well, neither do I. But you're going the same as me.
Here I am. I shut all the windows in case it rains, or snows, or hails. I left all the shades up so burglars will think we're home.
Yeah, but you never phoned Gloria, huh?
Oh, I tried her all morning, but they don't answer. I hope there ain't nothing wrong out there.
Yeah, well, if there ain't nothing wrong now, there will be when we 3 barge in on them unannounced.
I'll try her again.
No, Edith, there's no time for that. Look, there's Barney now. Get your coat out. Come on, let's go, huh?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot the turkey.
What the hell are you gonna do, Edith? Kiss it goodbye?
I'm gonna take it with us.
That big bird on the plane. Edith, why don't you just throw it up in the air? Maybe it'll fly on ahead. Hurry up. All right, at least you. Go on, get out in the car.
No.
Oh, well, now, if you're gonna give me trouble, and your Aunt Edith can't get moving here, I'm just gonna sit down in this chair and burst into tears.
Okay, I'm ready.
Good.
Oh, I forgot to check the gears.
All right, I'm gonna just sit in this chair.
You really gonna cry?
No. Now, will you please get into the car?
I better go to the bathroom again.
You done that?
I want to make sure.
Oh.
Yes, it's okay.
Hey, Arch, come on, will you? Hurry up. What do you say? What are you doing sitting in a chair?
I'm having a stroke here.
We'll have it on the way to the airport like everybody else. Oh, what do you got in these lead?
Cookies.
Oh, where's Steffi?
She's upstairs making sure.
Making what?
Oh, good. Here she is. Now, you're both here. Let's get going.
I don't want to go.
You what?
I don't want to go.
Why do kids always pull this stunt at the last minute?
Steffi, sure you want to go. You're going to meet little Joey, and you're going to have fun at Disneyland.
I don't want to have fun at Disneyland.
Well, now, you're going to have fun where I tell you to have fun. Now, get out into the car.
No.
Get into that car.
No.
Steffi! Oh, no, Archie, no, please don't do that. No, Archie.
Beat it. I'll only use one hand.
Let me talk to her. Steffi, don't you want to go with me?
No.
All right, I'll handle this now.
No,
Now,
please.
take it easy. I swear I ain't gonna belt her. Remember Gloria when she was 9 and we was trying to take the trip up to East Durham and the Catskills?
Oh, no, please don't do
You don't want to miss that
Archie.
plane. You don't want to miss the plane. Now, go on, get going. I'll handle it. Go on.
Don't be too long, Archie.
You don't want to go with us, huh?
No.
Yeah. You want to stay here by yourself for the next week or so, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, but you don't have to run. I ain't gonna grab you or nothing. You want to stay here, that's okay. Hey, there's plenty of food out there in the icebox. And you learned a little about cooking from your Aunt Edith there. You could take care of the house, a big girl like you. Starts to get cold, there's the gauge over there. You shove it up a little bit there. Only thing is, you gotta stay in the house all the time. You can't go nowhere, and you can't let nobody in the front door or in the back door neither. And the most important thing of all, you know that little door to the attic up there?
Yeah.
That door must be kept locked by day and by night.
Why?
Oh. What you don't know won't hurt you. So that's it. You stay here all alone. We'll see you in 10 days or so. Have a nice time all by yourself. Merry Christmas. And, don't be scared. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The winter air in Queens carried a familiar chill, the kind that seeped through the window frames of the old house on 74th Street. Inside, the atmosphere was thick with the scent of nostalgia and the faint, lingering aroma of Edith Bunker's cooking. Archie Bunker sat at the piano, his fingers tracing the keys as he and Edith began their ritualistic song. They sang of the days when Glenn Miller played, and every melody on the hit parade seemed to hold a promise. They sang of a time when guys like them had it made, a time they remembered with a bittersweet fondness. To them, those were the days. The lyrics spoke of a world where roles were clear, where girls were girls and men were men. Archie especially felt the weight of the changing times, often muttering that the country could use a man like Herbert Hoover again. In those days, they felt they did not need a welfare state because everybody pulled his own weight. Even their old Los Alamos had run great. It was a song of a bygone era, a melody that served as a fortress against the rapid shifts of the modern world. The front door creaked open, admitting a gust of freezing wind and Barney Hefner, who was struggling with a small, somewhat bedraggled evergreen. Archie looked up from the piano, shivering as the cold hit him. He called out to Barney, noting the freezing temperature outside. Barney was puffing, his breath visible in the air, complaining that the tree was nearly unrowing him as he tried to maneuver it. Archie told him to stand it up over by the wall for the time being. As the tree was finally upright, Archie stepped back to inspect it. It was, by all objective measures, an ugly little thing. Barney suggested that perhaps Archie could put the bad side toward the wall to hide its defects. Archie looked at the tree from several angles, his face twisting in a grimace. He remarked that Barney's suggestion was a thought, but the problem was determining which side was the bad side. In Archie's estimation, there was no good side to choose from. It was a scrawny, lopsided thing that looked like it had lost a fight with a lawnmower. Archie admitted, with a sigh of resignation, that this would be the last time he ever picked up a tree that had fallen off the back of a truck. Edith came fluttering into the room, her face lighting up with her characteristic optimism. She saw the tree and exclaimed with joy, calling it their Christmas tree. Archie, still skeptical, told her that the tree did not look like much. He told her to eat it, a common expression of his frustration. But Edith was not to be discouraged. She told him never to frown at a gift from nature. She admitted she had been hoping for a slightly bigger tree, perhaps something more majestic. Archie scoffed at the word. He told her that she was always hoping and reminded her that he had told her 30 years ago to give up on hoping. He asked her if she had no feelings for him, holding up his hands which were now covered in pine needles and sticky sap. He was tired and cold, and the sight of the sap only added to his irritation. He asked Barney if he wanted a beer, hoping to move on from the disappointment of the greenery. Edith looked at the tree again, thinking of her grandson. She suggested that it should be fatter for Joey, with more branches for decorations. Archie pointed out the obvious flaw in her logic, stating that they did not need branches since the kid was not going to climb the tree. He looked at the withered needles and remarked that it looked dead. When Edith agreed, Archie countered that it looked dead because it was dead. He told her again to eat it, explaining that in his view, all Christmas trees were dead the moment they were cut down. Edith, ever the romantic, disagreed. She spoke of how it was once a living tree, a beautiful part of nature. She began to recite poetry, speaking of a tree that may wear nests of robins in her hair. She reminded Archie that poems are made by fools like her, but only God can make a tree. She urged him to show a little respect for the thing, even if it was a bit bedraggled. The conversation turned to the upcoming holiday. Edith mentioned that Gloria, Mike, and little Joey were all going to be there for Christmas, which was why they ought to have a better-looking tree. Barney chimed in, agreeing with Edith. This immediately drew Archie's ire. He told Barney that he ought to shut up. Feeling the tension, Barney decided it was time for him to head home. Edith asked why he was leaving so soon, noting that Blanche was all alone. Barney joked that she was not exactly alone because the carpenter was there working in the living room. He added, with a wink, that the carpenter had bedroom eyes. He bid them farewell, saying he would see them at Christmas. Archie called out to him, telling him to drop in whenever he wanted, but added that they did not want him bringing any presents or anything of the sort. Edith thanked Barney warmly, but Archie told her to leave him alone. As Barney walked away with his beer can, Archie remarked to Edith that Barney was a common sort of guy, always walking around with a beer in his hand. Edith was too excited to be bothered by Archie's grumbling. She was looking forward to the next day when the whole family would be together. She was eager to hear all about the happenings in California. Archie, however, wanted to hear nothing about California. To him, it was a land of disasters, a place defined by earthquakes, fires, floods, and the movie industry. Edith ignored his complaints and invited him into the kitchen. She wanted to show him a surprise she was making for little Joey. Archie joked that if Joey was anything like his father, whom Archie affectionately called the meathead, the surprise had better be a hero sandwich. In the kitchen, Edith revealed she was making animal cookies. She encouraged Archie to put a lot of sugar in. She explained that she was making animals and people from Joey's favorite nursery rhymes. She showed him the cow and the moon that the cow jumped over. Archie, being himself, immediately began eating the moon. Edith continued, showing him the cats and the fiddle. She was also making Jack and Jill, the ones who went up the hill. She was making them all out of gingerbread, so they would look like they had beautiful California suntans. She thought it was cute, but Archie had a different perspective. He told her he did not think she should be making cookies like that nowadays, suggesting that it felt like they were eating people. Edith then showed him the turkey she had bought. Archie was stunned by its size, remarking that it was as big as a police dog. Edith reminded him that they had a great big hungry crowd coming over. Archie sighed, noting that Christmas was here again and praying that the Lord would get them through it. Edith reminded him that the season meant peace and goodwill toward men. Archie stopped her right there, asking why she always felt the need to tell him that. He claimed he had plenty of peace and goodwill in his heart, just laying there and waiting for other people to bring it out of him. Suddenly, the telephone rang, its shrill sound piercing the air. Archie grumbled that he would like to hit the phone with an axe. Edith suggested it might be somebody he liked, but Archie retorted that everybody he liked stayed far away from him. Edith answered the phone, and her face lit up. It was Gloria calling from California. She was calling on Stephanie's line, so she could talk to everyone at once. Edith called out to Stephanie to come down and talk. She marveled at how clear the connection was, saying Gloria sounded like she was in the next room. Archie grumbled about people always saying that same dumb thing. He demanded the phone, wanting to talk to his daughter. When he finally got a hold of the receiver, he told Gloria how nice it was to hear her voice and, despite his earlier complaints, told her she sounded just like she was in the next room. He asked about Joey and was thrilled to hear the boy was standing right by the phone. Archie's face softened as he waited for his grandson to get on the line. He greeted the boy, asking him if he could guess who he was talking to. He gave the boy a hint, and a moment later, Archie let out a laugh. He told the room that Joey had guessed it was his grandpa and had given him a Bronx cheer right back. Archie called the boy a real bunker. He then called Stephanie over, telling her to talk to her little step-cousin, though he described their relation as twice removed or something of the sort. He told her to be nice to him, because he was only a boy. He urged her to be quick because it was a long-distance call. Stephanie, feeling a bit shy, asked what she should say. Archie coached her, telling her to say hello, her name, her age, and what class she was in at school. Stephanie followed his instructions, telling Joey she was 9 years old and in class 4A. She ended by telling Joey she loved him and saying goodbye. Edith took the phone back, talking rapidly. She was checking the arrival times, noting the 3-hour time difference between New York and California. But then, the tone of the conversation changed. Edith began saying aha repeatedly, her voice trailing off. Archie grew impatient, asking what was happening and if they were starting with the ahas again. Finally, Edith hung up, her face pale. She told Archie that the kids were not coming. Mike's back had gone out again. Archie immediately blamed the meathead, though Edith defended him, saying he could not help it if his back went out. Archie insisted that if it was not his back, it would have been something else. He claimed that Mike had gone Hollywood. Even though they lived in Santa Barbara, Archie insisted it was the same thing, just a hoity-toity suburb of Hollywood. He began a long rant about the salacious life people lived out there, with cocktail parties and famous actors. He spoke of nude swimming and hot bubbling jacuzzis, describing Hollywood as the kingdom of the kinky. He even claimed he had read in the paper that you could not teach school there unless you were a registered member of a certain group. He could not understand why anyone would want to stay there instead of coming back to New York to spend Christmas with an ordinary businessman like him and a plain, worn-out housewife like Edith. Edith remained silent, lost in thought. Archie noticed and told her it was not like her to be so quiet. She told him she was thinking, which Archie joked was also not like her. She eventually proposed that since the kids could not come to them, they should go to California. Archie dismissed the idea at first, but Edith revealed she had already done all the research. She had called Kennedy Airport and written down all the information. She explained the different airfares, noting that if they had booked 30 days in advance, it would have been cheaper, but now the fares were higher for the weekend. She had it all figured out, $270 for adults on weekdays and $315 for the weekend. She even knew about the special meals, including low cholesterol for Archie and low sodium for her. She told him they were booked on a noon flight on Saturday, December 23rd. Archie tried to resist, calling the idea ridiculous and saying they were not going anywhere. But before he knew it, the house was a whirlwind of activity. Edith was packing everything she could find. Archie grumbled about the amount of luggage, asking if she was lead in the suitcases. He was surprised the plane could even get off the ground. Barney arrived to take them to the airport. Edith was frantic, making sure all the windows were shut and the shades were up so burglars would think they were home. She tried to call Gloria one last time but got no answer. She even wanted to take the bedraggled Christmas tree with them on the plane. Archie told her to just throw it in the air and see if it would fly on ahead. As they were about to leave, a new problem arose. Stephanie stood at the bottom of the stairs and declared that she did not want to go. Archie was frustrated, asking why kids always pull a stunt at the last minute. He tried to convince her by mentioning Disneyland, but Stephanie was unmoved. She insisted on staying behind. Archie realized he had to use a different approach. He told Edith and Barney to go to the car and let him handle it. He sat down with Stephanie and, instead of forcing her, he used his own unique brand of reverse psychology. He told her it was fine if she wanted to stay by herself for the next 10 days. He pointed out that there was plenty of food in the icebox and she knew how to use the stove. He showed her the gauge for the heater. However, he added a chilling warning. He told her she must stay in the house at all times and never let anyone in the front door. Most importantly, he pointed to the little door to the attic. He told her that door must be kept locked by day and by night. When she asked why, he gave her a mysterious look and said that what she did not know would not hurt her. He bid her a mock cheerful goodbye and Merry Christmas, telling her not to be scared as he counted down from 5. The psychological trick worked perfectly. Within seconds, Stephanie was terrified of being left alone in the house with the mystery of the attic. She let out a cry, realizing that being alone in the dark was much worse than a long flight to California. She dashed toward the door, ready to join the family on their holiday adventure. Archie smiled to himself, picked up the last of the bags, and followed them out into the winter air, headed for the land of disasters and the hope of a bright, family Christmas. The winter air in Queens was biting, the kind of cold that seeped through the cracks of the sturdy but aging wooden frames of the houses that lined the quiet street. Inside the residence of the Bunker family, the atmosphere was thick with the scent of history and the lingering echoes of a world that seemed to be slipping away faster than the inhabitants cared to admit. Archie Bunker sat in a sanctuary, the worn armchair that had seen decades of debates, naps, and the steady passage of time. Beside him, his faithful wife Edith moved with a familiar rhythm, her presence a constant comfort in a changing world. Together, they began to lift their voices in a song that was more than just a melody. It was a manifesto of a bygone era. They sang of the days when the music of Glenn Miller filled the airwaves, creating a soundtrack for a generation that believed in clear boundaries and hard work. Those were the songs that made the hit parade, melodies that stayed in the heart and gave people something to hum while they built their lives. For men like Archie, those were the years when everything felt certain. They had it made, or so it seemed through the golden lens of nostalgia. It was a time when identity was not a question, but a fact. Girls were girls, and men were men, standing tall and knowing exactly where they belonged in the grand scheme of the universe. There was a yearning in Archie's voice for a leader like Herbert Hoover, a man who represented a different kind of strength and a simpler set of expectations. In those days, the idea of a welfare state was foreign. Every individual was expected to pull their own weight, contributing to a society that ran like a well-oiled machine. Archie often thought of the old Los Alamos days, a period he remembered as great, filled with a sense of collective purpose and functional simplicity. Those, in his mind, were truly the days. The front door creaked open, admitting a blast of frigid air and Archie's neighbor, Barney Hepstall. Barney was struggling with a small, somewhat bedraggled evergreen tree, his breath coming in short puffs of white vapor. Archie looked up, his brow furrowing as he watched the clumsy entrance. He remarked to Barney about the cold, his voice a mix of a greeting and a complaint. Barney, nearly losing his grip on the foliage, grunted in response, pleading for a bit of caution as the needles brushed against him. Archie instructed him to stand the tree up in the corner for the time being, looking at the specimen with a critical eye. It was an ugly little tree, Archie conceded, its branches sparse and its spirits seemingly dampened by its journey. Edith approached the new arrival with her characteristic optimism, though even she had to admit the tree lacked a certain luster. She suggested that perhaps they could put the bad side toward the wall to hide its defects. Archie, ever the skeptic, paced around the spindly trunk, his hands on his hips. He pointed out the fundamental flaw in her logic. To hide the bad side, there had to be a good side, and in his estimation, this tree offered no such choice. It was a collection of bad sides held together by sap and hope. He confessed that this was the final time he would ever bother to pick up a tree that had simply fallen off the back of a truck, a bargain that now seemed like a heavy tax on his holiday spirit. Edith, however, would not let her joy be extinguished. She greeted the tree as a gift from nature, even if it did not look exactly like the grand visions she had harbored. She reminded Archie that they should never frown at what the earth provided. She had been hoping for something a bit larger, a centerpiece that would command the room and reflect the magnitude of the season. Archie scoffed at the word hoping. He told her that he had advised her to give up on hoping 30 years ago, suggesting that expectations only led to disappointment. He showed her his hands, which were now covered in the sticky residue of pine sap and the sharp stings of needles, asking if she had any feelings for the physical toll the tree had taken on him. Seeking a moment of respite, Archie asked for a beer. Edith, ever helpful, noted that the tree should ideally be fatter and have more branches for little Joey, their grandson. Archie countered that branches were unnecessary since the child was not intended to climb the thing. When Edith remarked that the tree looked dead, Archie agreed with blunt honesty. It looked dead because it was dead. In his worldview, all Christmas trees were dead from the moment they were severed from their roots. It was the nature of the tradition. Edith, ever the romantic and the lover of poetry, began to recite lines that spoke of a tree being a living thing, a beautiful creation that wore a nest of robins in its hair. She reminded him that while fools like them could make poems, only God could make a tree. She urged him to show a little respect for the natural world, especially with Gloria, Mike, and Joey coming home for the holidays. She felt the family deserved a better-looking symbol for their reunion. Barney, standing by, agreed with Edith, which earned him a sharp command from Archie to be quiet. Feeling the tension, Barney decided it was time to head home to his wife, Blanche, who was alone with a carpenter who, according to Barney, had bedroom eyes. Archie bid him a distracted farewell, reminding him that he was welcome to drop in whenever he liked, though they expected no gifts. Once Barney had departed, the house returned to the bustling preparations of Edith. She was excited, her mind already racing toward the tomorrow when the whole family would be gathered under one roof. She was eager to hear all about the life they were leading in California, that distant land of sun and dreams. Archie, however, wanted no part of the stories from the West. To him, California was a land of disasters, a place of earthquakes, fires, floods, and the endless drama of the movie industry. He preferred the grounded, albeit grittier, reality of New York. Edith pulled him into the kitchen to show him a surprise she was crafting for Joey. She was making animal cookies, along with figures from the nursery rhymes that the boy loved so much. There was the cow and the moon, and even Jack and Jill. She was making them out of gingerbread, giving them what she called beautiful California suntans. Archie, ever mindful of the changing social landscape and his own peculiar brand of sensitivity, suggested that perhaps eating colored people in cookie form was not the most appropriate activity for the modern era. The arrival of a massive turkey, which Archie described as being as large as a police dog, signaled the scale of the feast to come. Edith was determined to provide for the great big hungry crowd that was descending upon them. Archie sighed, acknowledging that Christmas was here again, praying that the Lord would get them through the period of peace and goodwill. When Edith reminded him of the importance of those values, Archie insisted that he had plenty of peace and goodwill stored up in his heart, simply waiting for someone else to be the first to bring it out of him. Suddenly, the telephone rang, a jarring sound that Archie wished he could silence with an axe. It was Gloria, calling from California. The excitement in the house spiked as Edith took the call, her voice rising in joy. She marveled at how clear the connection was, saying that Gloria sounded like she was in the next room. Archie grumbled about the cliché, but he too was drawn to the instrument of communication. He spoke to his daughter, repeating the same observation about the sound quality, and then eagerly asked to speak to little Joey. When the boy came to the phone, Archie's gruff exterior melted away. He played a game of guessing who was on the line, and when Joey responded with a Bronx cheer, Archie laughed, seeing a bit of his own spirit in the lad. He then handed the phone to Stephanie, their young ward, encouraging her to speak to her cousin. Stephanie, shy but polite, shared her name, her age of 9 years, and her grade in school, finishing with a sweet declaration of love before Archie hurried her off the line to save on the long-distance charges. However, the tone of the conversation changed abruptly. As Edith listened to Gloria, her face fell. There had been no mudslide, and they had not lost their home. But Mike, the man Archie often referred to as the meathead, had suffered a back injury. They would not be able to make the trip. The realization hit Edith hard. The family would not be together for Christmas after all. Archie immediately placed the blame on Mike, suggesting that his back was just an excuse and that he had gone Hollywood, becoming part of the salacious and kinky lifestyle he imagined existed in Santa Barbara. Edith sat in silence for a moment, her mind working through the disappointment. She then proposed a bold idea. If the children could not come to New York, the Bunkers would go to California. Archie was resistant, but Edith had already done her research. She had looked into the flight schedules and the fares from Kennedy Airport. She knew the costs for adults and children, the differences between weekday and weekend travel, and the specific requirements for booking in advance. She had even looked into the meal options, ensuring there would be low cholesterol and low sodium choices for Archie's health. Despite Archie's protests and his attempts to ignore her by pretending to be asleep, Edith remained firm. She announced that she had already made reservations for a noon flight on Saturday, the 23rd of December. The wheels were in motion. The following days were a whirlwind of packing and preparation. Edith packed with an intensity that made Archie wonder if they were planning to flee the country forever. She packed boxes of her cookies, adding weight to the luggage that Archie was sure would prevent the plane from ever taking flight. As the hour of departure neared, Barney arrived to drive them to the airport. The house was a scene of controlled chaos. Edith was checking windows, shades, and gears, her anxiety manifesting in 1,000 small tasks. Amidst the rush, Stephanie suddenly declared that she did not want to go. She was resistant to the idea of Disneyland and the long journey. Archie, realizing that force would not work, resorted to a different tactic. He told her that she was free to stay behind, alone in the house for the next 10 days. He painted a picture of independence, but he added a chilling warning about the small door to the attic, telling her it must be kept locked at all times because what she did not know would not hurt her. The psychological gambit worked. As Archie and Edith began to walk away, the reality of the empty, quiet house and the mystery of the locked attic door pressed in on Stephanie. The fear of being alone in the dark, coupled with Archie's ominous suggestion, was too much. She relented, crying out and rushing to join them, preferring the uncertainty of California to the imagined terrors of the attic. And so, the Bunker family, with their ugly tree left behind and their hearts full of a complicated kind of love, set off toward the western horizon, ready to face whatever the holiday had in store for them. The winter air bit through the layers of heavy wool as the echoes of a familiar melody seemed to hang in the frosted atmosphere of the neighborhood. It was a song that spoke of a time when the world felt smaller, more certain, and perhaps a little more meaningful. In the quiet corners of a mind, the notes of Glenn Miller and the songs that once dominated the hit parade played on a loop. There was a profound sense of nostalgia in those memories, a feeling that men like Archie and his peers had truly had it made. Those were the days when the boundaries of life were clear, when girls were girls and men were men. In the modern rush of the world, one could not help but feel that a man like Herbert Hoover was sorely needed again. In that era, the concept of a welfare state was foreign because everyone was expected to pull their own weight. Even the old days at Los Alamos had run with a certain clockwork precision that seemed lost in the present. Those were indeed the days. The front door creaked open, admitting a blast of frigid air and two men struggling with a burden that looked more like a collection of sticks than a symbol of holiday cheer. Barney complained about the biting cold, his voice muffled by the exertion. Archie, grunting under the weight, nearly knocked his companion over. They managed to stand the object up in the corner of the living room. It was a Christmas tree, but calling it that felt like an act of extreme generosity. It was an ugly little thing, sparse and leaning as if it had given up on life long ago. Barney suggested that perhaps they could put the bad side toward the wall to hide its defects. Archie surveyed the spindly branches with a skeptical eye, wondering aloud which side was actually the bad one. Barney, with the blunt honesty of a longtime friend, remarked that Archie had a choice because there simply was no good side to be found. Archie sighed, admitting that this was the absolute last time he would ever pick up a tree that had fallen off the back of a truck. Edith entered the room, her face lighting up with her characteristic warmth. She greeted them and immediately noticed the new arrival. She called it their Christmas tree with a tone of wonder, though even she had to admit it did not quite look the part yet. Archie, defensive and tired, told her to accept it and never to frown at a gift from nature. Edith, ever the optimist, tentatively mentioned that she had been hoping for a slightly bigger tree this year. Archie scoffed, telling her that she had been hoping for 30 years, and it was time to give up. He showed her his hands, which were covered in needles and sticky sap, asking if she had any feelings for his physical struggle. He turned to Barney and offered him a beer. Edith looked at the tree again, thinking of her grandson. She remarked that it should be fatter for little Joey, with more branches for the decorations. Archie countered that Joey did not need branches because the child was not going to climb the tree. When Edith noted that the tree looked dead, Archie flatly stated that it looked dead because it was indeed dead. He pointed out that all Christmas trees were dead by the time they reached a living room. Edith disagreed, her voice softening as she recalled that it was once a living thing, a beautiful tree that might have worn a nest of robins in its hair. She recited a line about how poems are made by fools, but only God can make a tree. Archie, unmoved by the poetry, simply told her to show some respect for the thing since it was already there. The conversation shifted to the upcoming holiday. Edith reminded Archie that Gloria, Mike, and Joey were all going to be there for Christmas, which was why she wanted everything to look perfect. Barney agreed with her, but Archie quickly told him to shut up. Feeling the tension, Barney decided it was time to head home. He mentioned that Blanche was alone, though not entirely alone since a carpenter was working in their living room. With a wink and a comment about the carpenter having bedroom eyes, Barney bid them farewell. Edith called out a warm goodbye while Archie told him to drop in whenever he wanted, though Edith quickly added that he did not need to bring any presents. Archie told her to leave the man alone. As Barney left, Archie grumbled about him being a common sort of guy, always walking around with a beer can. Edith was too excited to care. She was practically vibrating with anticipation because the whole family would be together the next day. She was eager to hear all about their lives in California, but Archie wanted no part of it. To him, California was a land of disasters, a place defined by earthquakes, fires, floods, and the strange world of the movies. Edith led him into the kitchen to show him a surprise she was making for little Joey. Archie joked that if Joey was anything like his father, Mike, the surprise should be a massive hero sandwich. Instead, Edith was making animal cookies. She had crafted animals and people from the favorite nursery rhymes of the child. She pointed out a cow and the moon, but Archie had already started eating the cow. He joked that he would eat the moon next. Edith showed him the cats, the fiddle, and Jack and Jill. She had made them out of gingerbread, so they would look like they had beautiful California suntans. Archie, in his typical fashion, grumbled that she should not be making cookies like that because it felt like eating people. The sight of the turkey in the kitchen momentarily distracted him. He remarked that it was as big as a police dog. Edith explained that they had a great big hungry crowd coming. Archie sighed, acknowledging that Christmas was here again and praying that they would get through it. When Edith mentioned peace and goodwill, Archie interrupted her. He claimed he had plenty of peace and goodwill in his heart, just lying there waiting for someone else to bring it out of him. The sudden ringing of the telephone startled him. He expressed a desire to hit the machine with an axe, but Edith suggested it might be someone he liked. Archie retorted that everyone he liked stayed far away from him. It turned out to be Gloria calling from California. The excitement in the house spiked. Edith chatted happily, remarking that Gloria sounded like she was in the next room. Archie complained that people always said that same dumb thing. He eventually took the phone to speak to his daughter and then to his grandson, Joey. The interaction with Joey was filled with Archie's unique brand of affection. He even had Stephanie, their young ward, come to the phone to say hello to her distant cousin. He coached her through the long-distance call, telling her to be quick and polite. Stephanie introduced herself, stated she was 9 years old and in grade 4A, and told Joey she loved him before being told to sit down. However, the joy was short-lived. As Edith took the phone back, her face fell. There had been a problem. A mudslide had occurred, and while they had not lost their home, Mike's back had gone out again. The trip was canceled. They would not be coming to New York for Christmas. The news hit the household like a heavy weight. Archie immediately blamed Mike, whom he affectionately called the meathead, claiming he had gone Hollywood. He spun a wild tale about the salacious life in Santa Barbara, filled with cocktail parties and nude swimming in hot tubs. To Archie, California had changed Mike, making him prefer the kingdom of the kinky over a traditional family Christmas in New York. Edith remained unusually quiet, her mind working behind her eyes. When Archie noticed her silence, she revealed she had been thinking. She proposed a bold idea. If the kids could not come to them, they should go to California. Archie tried to shut the idea down immediately, but Edith had already done her research. She had called the airport and gathered all the information. She detailed the airfares, explaining that a flight on Monday through Thursday would cost $270, but since they had to leave on Saturday, the rate was $315. She even mentioned the special meals available on the plane, including low cholesterol and low sodium options for Archie. She had already booked the reservations for a noon flight on Saturday, December 23rd. Archie was stunned by her initiative. He tried to resist, but the momentum was already building. Before long, the house was in a state of chaotic preparation. Edith was packing frantically, including 3 boxes of her cookies, which Archie joked were as heavy as lead. Barney arrived to help them get to the airport. Edith was running around checking windows and shades, her anxiety manifest in a dozen small tasks. She even tried to call Gloria one last time, but there was no answer. Archie, feeling the pressure of time, urged everyone to get into the car. The final hurdle appeared in the form of young Stephanie. Just as they were about to leave, the girl announced that she did not want to go. She was not interested in Disneyland or meeting Joey. She wanted to stay home. Archie, losing his patience, tried to use authority, but Edith begged him to be gentle. Archie decided to try a different tactic. He told Stephanie that if she wanted to stay alone for 10 days, that was fine. He pointed out where the food was and how to use the heater. But then, he added a chilling warning. He told her she must never open the small door to the attic, neither by day nor by night. When she asked why, he mysteriously replied that what she did not know would not hurt her. He bid her a cold goodbye and pretended to leave. The psychological pressure worked instantly. Within seconds, Stephanie was overwhelmed by the thought of being alone in the dark with the mystery of the attic. She cried out in fear, unable to bear the thought of being left behind. The prospect of the unknown was far more terrifying than a trip to California. With the family finally united in their mission, they moved toward the car, leaving the quiet house behind as they embarked on a journey that promised to bring them together for the holidays, proving that despite the grumbling and the chaos, the bonds of family were the strongest force of all. The winter air in Queens carried a familiar bite, the kind of cold that seeped through wool coats and settled deep in the bones of the row houses. Inside the residence of the Bunker family, the atmosphere was thick with the echoes of a bygone era. The sounds of a piano filled the room, carrying the weight of memories from a time when the world felt smaller and perhaps a bit more certain. It was a melody that spoke of the way Glenn Miller played and of the songs that made the hit parade. Those were the days when men like Archie and his friends felt they had it made, a time when girls were girls and men were men. In the quiet corners of the house, one could almost hear the yearning for a leader like Herbert Hoover to step back into the fray. There had been no need for a welfare state back then, because everyone pulled his weight. Even the old days at Los Alamos ran with a certain kind of greatness that seemed to have vanished into the mist of history. Archie Bunker and his neighbor Barney came through the front door, struggling with a small, bedraggled evergreen. The wind followed them in, a sharp reminder of the December chill outside. Barney shivered, commenting on the freezing temperature that seemed to bite at his nose. Archie was preoccupied, grunting under the weight of the tree and warning Barney not to unrow him with the clumsy movements. They finally stood the tree up in the living room, a skeletal thing that looked more like a collection of twigs than a festive centerpiece. Barney suggested putting the bad side toward the wall to hide its flaws, but Archie looked at the tree from every angle and realized there was no good side to speak of. It was the last time Archie would ever pick up a tree that had fallen off a delivery truck, no matter how much of a bargain it seemed to be at the time. Edith came into the room, her face lighting up with that eternal optimism that defined her soul. She saw the tree and greeted it with a warmth that only she could provide, even if it did not look much like the grand visions of Christmas she held in her heart. Archie told her not to frown at a gift from nature, though his own face was twisted in a grimace. Edith admitted she had been hoping for something a little bigger, a tree that could hold the weight of their holiday spirit. Archie reminded her that he had told her 30 years ago to give up on hoping. His hands were covered in needles and sap, a physical testament to his efforts. He called for a beer, needing a cold drink to wash away the frustration of the morning. As Archie settled into his chair, Edith began to worry about little Joey. She thought the tree should be fatter and have more branches for the boy to enjoy. Archie argued that the kid was not going to climb the tree, so the lack of branches was irrelevant. When Barney pointed out that the tree looked dead, Archie snapped back that all Christmas trees were dead. However, Edith saw it differently. To her, it had once been a living thing, a beautiful creation that May and summers wear. She recited verses about poems being made by fools while only God could make a tree. She urged Archie to show some respect for the thing, especially since Gloria and Mike and little Joey were all supposed to be there for Christmas. Barney agreed with Edith, which only served to irritate Archie further. He told Barney to shut up, prompting the neighbor to decide it was time to head home. Barney mentioned that his wife Blanche was alone, or rather, alone with a carpenter who had bedroom eyes. With a quick goodbye, he headed out, leaving Archie to grumble about Barney being a common sort of guy who walked around with a beer can in his hand. But the annoyance quickly faded as Edith reminded him of the joy to come. Tomorrow, the whole family would be together. They would hear all about the happenings in California, though Archie was not sure he wanted to hear anything about that land of disasters. In his mind, California was a place of earthquakes, fires, floods, and movies. In the kitchen, Edith was busy creating surprises for little Joey. She was making animal cookies and figures from nursery rhymes out of gingerbread. There was the cow and the moon, and even Jack and Jill going up the hill. She had baked them to look like they had beautiful California suntans. Archie, ever the critic, wondered if making cookies that looked like people of color was appropriate in the modern world. He turned his attention to the turkey Edith had bought, a bird so large he compared it to a police dog. They had a hungry crowd coming, and despite his grumbling, Archie knew that Christmas was here again. He asked for the Lord to get them through it, which Edith interpreted as a call for peace and goodwill. Archie insisted he had plenty of peace and goodwill in his heart, just lying there and waiting for someone to bring it out of him. The ringing of the telephone interrupted their conversation. Archie joked about hitting it with an axe, but Edith was convinced it was someone they liked. It was Gloria calling from California. The excitement in the house rose as Edith shouted for little Stephanie to come down and talk. Archie took the phone, telling Gloria she sounded just like she was in the next room, a common phrase that he usually found dumb when others said it. He spoke to little Joey, who gave him a Bronx cheer through the line, much to Archie's delight. Even Stephanie got a chance to say a quick hello to her cousin, though Archie kept it brief because of the long-distance charges. But the joy was short-lived. As Edith took the phone back, her face fell. There had been no mudslide or earthquake, but Mike's back had gone out again. They would not be able to make the trip. The little family would not be together for Christmas after all. Archie immediately blamed Mike, calling him a meathead and suggesting he had gone Hollywood. He imagined Mike living a salacious life in Santa Barbara, attending cocktail parties and swimming nude in bubbling hot tubs. To Archie, California was a kingdom of the kinky, a place where the rules of normal society did not apply. He could not understand why anyone would choose that over a quiet Christmas in New York with an ordinary businessman and a plain housewife. Edith was unusually quiet, lost in thought. She eventually spoke up, suggesting that if the kids could not come to them, they should go to the kids. Archie dismissed the idea at first, but Edith had already done her research. She had the flight information ready, knowing the prices for Monday through Thursday and the higher rates for the weekend. She had thought of everything, including low cholesterol meals for Archie and low sodium for herself. She had even looked into the kosher options, though she knew that was not for them. She told Archie they were booked on a noon flight on Saturday, the 23rd of December. Despite Archie's protests, the wheels were in motion. The house became a whirlwind of packing and preparation. Edith packed as if they were fleeing Egypt, stuffing boxes of cookies into the suitcases. Barney arrived to take them to the airport, and the chaos reached a fever pitch. Archie was reluctant to leave, but he found himself caught up in Edith's momentum. Stephanie, however, suddenly decided she did not want to go. She did not want to see Disneyland or little Joey. She wanted to stay home. Archie tried to handle the situation with his unique brand of logic. He told Stephanie she could stay home by herself for the next 10 days. He painted a picture of independence, telling her she could cook for herself and manage the house. But then, he added a chilling warning. He told her she must keep the small door to the attic locked at all times, both day and night. When she asked why, he simply said that what she did not know would not hurt her. He bid her a Merry Christmas and pretended to leave. The psychological tactic worked perfectly. The fear of being alone in a house with a mysterious locked attic was more than the young girl could bear. She cried out in terror, unable to face the dark alone. In the end, the family stayed together, bound by love, tradition, and perhaps a little bit of Archie's creative storytelling. The winter air in Queens was biting, the kind of cold that seeped through the cracks of the sturdy but aging houses on Hauser Street. Inside number 704, the atmosphere was thick with the scent of nostalgia and the faint, lingering aroma of Edith Bunker's cooking. Archie Bunker sat in his favorite chair, his kingdom of worn fabric, thinking back to a time that made sense to him. He remembered the way Glenn Miller played, the melodies floating through the airwaves, songs that made the hit parade and stayed in the hearts of a generation. In those days, guys like Archie and his pals had it made. Those were the days when the world felt predictable and right. You knew where you stood then. Girls were girls, and men were men. It was a time when a man like Herbert Hoover represented something solid, something a person could understand. There was no talk of a welfare state back then because everybody pulled his weight and took pride in the struggle. Even the old Los Alamos ran great. It was a simpler time, or so it seemed through the golden haze of Archie's memory. The front door creaked open, admitting a gust of freezing wind and two men struggling with a festive but pathetic burden. Archie and his neighbor Barney were wrestling with a Christmas tree. It was not a majestic pine from a high-end lot, but a scrawny, lopsided thing that looked like it had lost a fight with a stiff breeze. "Oh, Barney, it is cold out there," Archie grumbled, his breath visible in the chilly hallway. Barney was puffing, his face red from the effort. Archie winced as the branches poked him. "Oh, easy, geez, you are nearly unrowing me there," he complained, trying to find a grip. "All right, stand it up over here for now." They leaned the tree against the wall. It slumped instantly. Archie stepped back, hands on his hips, surveying the damage. "It is an ugly little tree, Arch," Barney remarked, wiping his brow. "Maybe you could put the bad side to the wall." Archie tilted his head, squinting at the needles that seemed to be falling off just from the vibration of their voices. "Well, that is a thought," Archie replied dryly. But which is the bad side? Barney circled the tree, looking for a redeeming quality. Well, I think you got a choice, he concluded with a sigh. Because there air not no good side. Archie grunted, feeling the sting of a bad bargain. Well, that is the last time I pick up a tree that fell off the truck, he muttered. Just then, the light of the household, Edith, fluttered into the room. Her face lit up with a joy that only she could muster at the sight of a half-dead evergreen. Oh, Archie, she chirped, her voice rising in excitement. Oh, our Christmas tree. And I do not look like that. Archie looked at her, then back at the tree. Eat it, he snapped, though there was more habit than malice in his tone. Never frown at a gift from nature. Edith approached the tree, her eyes searching for the beauty Archie had missed. I was hoping that we could have a little bigger tree, she said softly. Archie let out a long, weary groan. Oh, hoping, you're always hoping. I told you 30 years ago to give up hoping. I not you got no feelings for me? He held up his hands, showing the sticky residue of the forest. Hey, look at these 2 hands here, covered with needles and saps. He turned to his friend. You want a beer, Barney? Yeah, Arch, Barney agreed, following him toward the kitchen. Edith remained by the tree, her mind already on her grandson. Well, it should be fatter for Joey, with more branches, she noted. Archie called back from the other room, his voice echoing. You need branches for the kid, he are not going to climb it. It looks dead, Edith whispered, touching a brittle twig. Archie returned with the beers, his patience thin. Well, it looks dead because it is dead. Eat it. All Christmas trees is dead. Edith shook her head, her romantic heart refusing to accept the grim reality of the lumber industry. Well, it was once a living tree there, a beautiful tree, she began, her voice taking on a poetic lilt. A tree that May and summers wear. A nest of robins in her head. Poems are made by fools like me. One only God can make a tree. Archie stared at her for a moment, then looked at the scrawny pine. Yes, so show a little respect for the damn thing, he said, though it was unclear if he was talking to Edith or the tree itself. Archie, Edith said, her tone becoming more serious. With Gloria and Mike and Joey all going to be here for Christmas, we ought to have a better-looking tree. Barney nodded in agreement, leaning against the doorframe. Look, I think Edith is right. Archie turned on him instantly. Well, I think you ought to shut up. Barney took a sip of his beer, unbothered. I think I ought to go home. No, why? Edith asked, ever the hospitable hostess. Barney shrugged. Blanchage is there all alone. Well, she are not exactly alone, Archie reminded him. The carpenter is there. You told me the carpenter is working in the living room. Yeah, Barney said, a spark of neighborly gossip in his eyes. But he has got bedroom eyes. I will see you at Christmas. Yeah, okay, Barney, Archie said, ushering him toward the door. Yeah, drop in whatever you want us. And we do not want you to bring no presents or nothing, Edith added warmly. Archie sighed, closing the door after Barney. Leave him alone, will you, Edith? Hey, Barney, you do what you want. I would rather do what Edith wants, Barney called back before the door clicked shut. Bye, Edith. Bye, Barney. Archie turned back to his wife, shaking his head. You know, Barney is a common sort of a guy, you know that? Walking around with a beer can in his hand. Edith was not listening to his grumbling. She was looking at the calendar, her heart leaping with anticipation. Surprise. She shouted suddenly, though there was no one new to surprise. Come on, Edith, right on the heel. Tomorrow they are all going to be here. Oh, we are going to hear all about the happenings in California. Archie made a face as if he had just sucked on a lemon. I do not want to hear nothing about California, he declared. That is the land of disasters they went through out there. With earthquakes, fires, floods, movies. Come on out in the kitchen, Edith urged, ignoring his pessimism. Oh, just come on, I want to show you a surprise I am making for little Joey. Archie followed her, his heavy footsteps thudding on the linoleum. Well, if Joey is anything like his father, the surprise better be a hero sandwich, he joked. Oh, Archie, Edith said, her hands already busy with dough. Mia's making animal cookies. Oh yeah? Archie asked, peering over her shoulder. Put a lot of sugar in. I am making animals and people from Joey's favorite nursery rhymes, Edith explained with a wide smile. See, there's the cow and the moon that the cow jumped over. Archie reached out and snatched a piece of dough. You are eating the cow, Edith giggled. By the moon. I am going to eat the moon he jumped over, Archie countered, popping the sweet morsel into his mouth. There is the cats and the fiddle, Edith continued, pointing to the shapes on the tray. And I am making Jack and Jill, that one up the hill. And I am making them all out of gingerbread. So they look like they got beautiful California suntans. Are not that cute? Archie looked at the dark brown dough shapes, and his brow furrowed with a very Archie Bunker brand of concern. No, I really do not think you ought to be making cookies like this nowadays. Why not? Edith asked, her eyes wide with innocence. Well, it makes you feel like you are eating colored people, Archie said with a shrug, completely unaware of how ridiculous he sounded. Edith let out a gasp of mock horror, but then turned her attention to the centerpiece of the holiday feast. Oh, gee, look at the size of this turkey you bought me. My God, it is as big as a police dog. Archie looked at the massive bird sitting on the counter. We got a great big hungry crowd coming, he reminded her. Oh, yeah, I know, Edith agreed. The meathead. Archie sighed, a mixture of annoyance and affection. Oh, gee. Christmas is here again. And may the Lord get us through it. And that means peace and goodwill, Edith added, her voice soft and hopeful. Hold it, Archie interrupted, pointing a finger at her. Why do you always think you gotta tell me that, huh? Listen, I got a lot of peace and goodwill in my heart. Just laying there, waiting for other people to bring it out of me. The shrill ring of the telephone cut through the air. Archie flinched. God, I would like to hit that phone with an axe, he barked. Maybe it is somebody you like, Edith suggested, moving toward the hallway. Everybody I like stays the hell away from me, Archie grunted. Hello? Edith answered, her face lighting up instantly. Gloria. Archie. Gloria is calling from California. Archie's demeanor changed in a heartbeat, though he tried to hide his excitement behind a mask of irritation. What? The kids are calling from California? She called Steffi so she could talk to us all instead, Edith explained, waving for their young ward, Stephanie, to join them. Hey, kiddo, come on down here so you can talk to somebody on the phone. Edith spoke into the receiver, her voice brimming with maternal warmth. Good. How is the weather? Oh, good. Let me talk. Edith, Archie insisted, reaching for the phone. You sound just like you are in the next room, he heard Edith say. Let me talk, Archie repeated more forcefully. She sounds just like she is in the next room, Edith told him, beaming. Archie rolled his eyes. Oh, people always say that same dumb thing. That is good. Really? I want to talk. Would you give me the phone? Give me the phone. Wait a minute. Your father wants to speak to you, Edith told Gloria. Here he is. Archie took the receiver with a flourish. Hi, little girl. This is your father. How are you? He nudged Edith away as she hovered near his ear. Give me your hand. Your mother. She is all over me. Yeah, huh? Oh, that is nice, yeah. He couldn't help himself. He leaned in and said exactly what he had just mocked. You sound just like you are in the next room. He listened for a moment, his face softening. Hey, let me ask you, how is Joey? He is standing by the phone? Put him on, put him on. He is standing right by the phone there. Archie's voice was filled with a rare, pure joy. They're going to put him on. Give me a break. There was a fumbling sound on the other end, and then a small, distant voice. Hello? Hello, Joe? Yeah, hi, Joey. Archie's face was a map of delight. Don't do it. Hello, Joe? Can you guess who you are talking to here? Huh? Archie paused, a mischievous glint in his eyes. Well, wait a minute, I will give you a hint. He made a loud, raspberry sound into the phone. Did you get it? He let out a boisterous laugh. He guessed it. He guessed it was his grandpa here. And he Bronx cheered me right back again. He is a real bunkin' here. Hey, listen, Joe. Oh, yeah. Hey, Joe, hang on. I want you to talk to a little step-cousin of yours, twice removed or something. Yeah. But be nice to her. She is only a girl, you know? Yeah, hang on there. He handed the phone to Stephanie, who had been waiting patiently. All right, here, Rosemary here. Go ahead and say something there, but be quick, because it is long distance. What did I say? Stephanie asked, feeling the pressure of the moment. Well, say hello, Archie coached. Hello, Stephanie said timidly. Say your name, Archie prompted. I am Stephanie. Say how old you are. I am 9 years old. Yeah, say what class you are in. I am in 4A. Say, I love you, Joey, Archie whispered. I love you, Joey, Stephanie repeated. Yeah, say goodbye, Archie finished. Goodbye, Stephanie said, handing the phone back to Edith. Sit down, Archie told the girl, reclaimed his spot as the patriarch. Oh, I am so glad you are still there, Edith said into the phone. No, Stephanie thought we were through. Oh, stop, give me a hand. She turned to Archie, her eyes searching for the clock. What time will you be? Check the time, because we are 3 hours earlier here in New York for some reason. Did you hear that? Good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, come on. Oh. Uh-huh. Archie started to pace. Come on, let me talk to you. Uh-huh. Are we starting with the uh-huhs? We're gonna be an hour here. Uh-huh. Let me talk to my daughter. Suddenly, Edith's face fell. Her eyes widened with worry. Oh. What happened? Oh no. Another mudslide? That is a terrible thing to happen just at this time. They didn't lose their condominium, did they? Archie stood frozen, his heart sinking. What is it? He hissed. You mean he are not well? Edith asked, her voice trembling. Oh yeah, I understand. We love you. Yeah, I will tell him. I am sorry too. Sure, that is all right. Go right ahead. Oh, God. We will talk soon. Bye. She hung up the phone slowly, her hand lingering on the receiver. What is the matter? Archie demanded, his voice cracking. They are not coming, Edith whispered. Mike's back went out again. Archie's disappointment immediately turned to defensive anger. From an earthquake? No, Edith said, her eyes moist. She couldn't talk long. Her and Joey was going out the door. Archie slumped against the wall. Oh. So what is going to be? Well, I guess. This little family are not going to be together for Christmas, Edith said, the sadness heavy in her voice. Well, this whole thing is the fault of the meathead, Archie declared, looking for a scapegoat to ease the sting of the news. Oh, no, he couldn't help it if his back went out, Edith defended. His back, Archie scoffed. If it wasn't his back, it was something else. What? Hollywood. That is right. I think that he has went Hollywood. But they live in Santa Barbara, Edith reminded him gently. Same thing, Archie countered. Santa Barbara is only a hoity-toity suburb of Hollywood. Oh, what a place, Hollywood. Oh, that salacious life they live out there. Them cocktail parties, you know? Where you rub up against the likes of Ferris Major Fawcett. Them alone could drive a guy like the meathead out of his mind. Oh, not to mention the nude swimming, huh? Not it, huh? The nude swimming, huh? Yes. In the hot, bubbling cajuzzis. And everybody is hands under the water. Huh. Oh, let me tell you, Edith. Hollywood is the kingdom of the kinky. I seen by the paper, they even passed a law out there. You cannot teach school unless you're a registered fag. You know, so? Stands to reason. The guy out there having all that fun, he would want to come back to New York. Spend Christmas with an ordinary businessman like me. And a plain, wore-out housewife like you. You know what I mean? Edith was silent, her gaze fixed on the floor. You are not talking, Edith, Archie noted. That not like you. I am thinking, she said quietly. That not like you neither, Archie remarked, but there was no bite in it. I want to think before I talk, Edith said. Well, Edith, an old dog should not try to learn new tricks, Archie said, trying to bring back the usual banter. Just talk. You know, let your thoughts trail behind you like always. Edith looked up, her eyes bright with a sudden realization. I am thinking that since they didn't come here, we should go out there. Archie blinked, caught off guard. Well, let me tell you something. I already thought about it. And you know what I think? I think that we should quit thinking about it. Oh, no, Edith persisted, her energy returning.
Come on, Archie.
I got it all figured out. I know, Archie said, sighing. Don't you think I heard you before calling up Kennedy Airport and scratching down all that information? Now listen to this, Edith said, pulling a crumpled piece of paper from her apron pocket. Oh, no. Don't tell me about it, Archie groaned, but he didn't walk away. We could have gone on the super safe, Edith continued, her words tumbling out. She tells me anyway. If we booked 30 days in advance and stayed away for 70 days.
It is too late for that now.
So, on Monday through Thursday, the fare is the lowest. It is $270. $225 for a child. That is round trip. But since we gotta go on Saturday, the rates for Friday through Sunday is $315. $225 for a child. That is still round trip. And we get free meals, low cholesterol. That is for you. Low sodium. That is for you. Kosher. Oh, that are not for you. All major credit cards accepted. Be at airport 1 hour before. She paused, looking at him. Archie, are you asleep? I heard everything, Archie muttered. What did I say? Edith challenged. Archie, are you asleep? Archie repeated her question back to her with a smirk. You better stay away, 'cause I got something important to tell ya. There is a noon flight on Saturday, December 23rd. We can take it to the airport, New York to Los Angeles, and I got us reservations. We are booked. Archie's eyes snapped open.
Stop that. Stop that. Stop that. Stop that.
Now don't be ridiculous, Edith. We are not going nowhere. But the wheels were already in motion. The next few days were a whirlwind of frantic preparations. Edith was a blur of activity, packing suitcases as if they were moving forever. If we're going somewhere, let's get moving, Archie yelled from the living room. He walked into the bedroom to find Edith wrestling with a massive trunk. What the hell is she packing here? We are only going on a little trip. You think it was the Jews fleeing from Egypt? Did you see her put lead in here? No, only 3 boxes of cookies, Stephanie said, watching the chaos from the doorway. Lead, Archie grumbled. I am surprised that the plane gets off the ground. Edith, Barney will be here any minute. She is right there. I do not want to go, Archie muttered to himself, even as he checked his wallet. Well, neither do I, but you are going the same as me, Edith called out. Here I am. She appeared, breathless. I shut all the windows in case it rains, or snows or hails. I left all the shades up so burglars will think we are home. Yeah, but you never phoned Gloria, huh? Archie asked. Oh, I tried her all morning, but they don't answer, Edith said, her brow furrowing. I hope there are not nothing wrong out there. Well, if there are not nothing wrong now, there will be when we 3 barge in on them undernouns, Archie predicted. I will try her again, Edith said, reaching for the phone. No, Edith, there is no time for that, Archie insisted. Here is Barney now. Here is Barney now. Get your coat on. Come on, let's go. Edith grabbed the scrawny Christmas tree. I am going to take it, she announced. What the hell are you going to do, Edith? Archie asked, exasperated. Kiss it goodbye? I am going to take it with us, she said firmly. That big boy on the plane. Edith, why don't you just throw it up in the air? Archie suggested. Maybe it will fly on ahead. Hurry up, all right, at least you. Go on, get out in the car. No, Edith said, stubbornly holding the tree. Oh, well, now, if you are going to give me trouble and your Aunt Edith cannot get moving here, I am going to sit down in this chair and burst into tears, Archie threatened, collapsing into his armchair. Okay, I am ready, Edith said, finally setting the tree down. Good, Archie said, standing up. Oh, I forgot to check the gears, Edith cried, rushing toward the kitchen. All right, I am going to just sit in this chair, Archie said, sinking back down. You really gonna cry? Stephanie asked, looking at him with wide eyes. No, 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 Archie said quickly. Now, will you please get into the car? I better go to the bathroom again, Edith said, scurrying past them. You done does. Archie shouted after her. I want to make sure, she called back. Oh, the gears, it is okay. The gears, come on, will you? Archie pleaded. Hurry up, what do you say? What are you doing sitting in a chair? I am having a stroke here, Archie complained to Stephanie. Well, have it on the way to the airport like everybody else, Edith said, reappearing with her coat on. Oh, what do you got in these legs? Cookies, Archie said, lifting a heavy suitcase. Oh, where's Steffi? She is upstairs making sure, Edith said. Making what? Archie asked. Oh, good, here she is. Now, you're both here, let's get going. Stephanie stood at the bottom of the stairs, her expression defiant. I do not want to go.
You what?
Archie asked, his jaw dropping. I do not want to go, Stephanie repeated. Why do kids always pull a stunt at the last minute? Archie asked the ceiling. Steffi, sure you want to go? You're going to meet little Joey, and you're going to have fun at Disneyland. I do not want to have fun at Disneyland, the girl said firmly. Well, now, you're going to have fun where I tell you to have fun, Archie commanded. Now, get out into the car. No, Stephanie said. Get into that car. No, Steffi, Edith pleaded. Oh, no, Archie. No, please don't do that.
No, Archie.
Edith, I will only use one hand, Archie said, stepping toward the girl.
Let me talk to her.
Steffi, don't you want to go with me?
No.
All right, I will handle this, Archie said, his tone shifting to something more calculated. No, please. Now, take it easy. Remember Gloria when she was 9, and we was trying to take the trip up to East Durham and the Catskills? Oh, no, please don't do that, Archie, Edith begged. You don't want to miss that plane. You don't want to miss the plane. Now, go on, get going. I will handle it, go on. Don't be too long, Archie, Edith said, finally heading for the door. Archie turned to Stephanie, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. You don't want to go with us, huh?
No.
You want to stay here by yourself for the next week or so, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't have to run, Archie said, keeping his distance. I air not gonna grab you, or nothing. You want to stay here, that is okay. There is plenty of food out there in the icebox, and you learned a little about cooking from your Aunt Edith there. You can take care of the house, a big girl like you. Starts to get cold, there is the gauge over there, you shove it up a little bit there. Only thing is, you gotta stay in the house all the time, you cannot go nowhere, and you cannot let nobody in the front door. Stephanie listened, her eyes narrowing. And the most important thing of all, Archie continued, leaning in close. You know that little door to the attic up there? Yeah, Stephanie whispered. That door must be kept locked by day and by night, Archie said solemnly.
Why?
Oh, Archie said, looking over his shoulder. What you don't know won't hurt you. So that is it. You stay here all alone. We will see you in 9, 10 days or so. Have a nice time all by yourself. Merry Christmas. And don't be scared. He started to count down slowly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Stephanie screamed, bolting for the front door. Oh my God. Archie followed her out, a small, triumphant smile on his face. It is like in the dark when I am in for a real long time. He heard her cry as she scrambled into the car. It is like in the dark when I am alone. It is like in the dark when I am alone. Archie closed the door of 704 Hauser Street, the quiet house left behind as they began their journey toward the sunny, chaotic, and utterly unpredictable world of California.